welcome to a new Monday, a new session, and we have the lovely KJ, music producer, in the building.
Yes.
If you don't know him, or if we didn't, I think we talked about it in the first episode or so, but he gave us the wonderful beat that that dancers when they freestyle. That is his beat.
It'll become our intro song
When we
have
make
an animation for it.
Yes. But he is the lovely beat creator of that, so thank you for that.
Yeah, shout out Reed Tanan for working on that with me.
Hey, shout out. But that beat is because we even said it on episodes, but like when you sent us that beat, but you also sent us like 30 other beats, and we were like, holy cow, like we were not prepared for that. But like we thought you were gonna send like 5.
We sat here and we listened to all of them off the speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like we had like 5 that we really, really liked.
Yeah.
And then we cut it down to that one.
Yeah, you know, I had my I had like probably 1,000 different beats on my drive.
Ready?
And I lost like 950 of them.
No way.
What? Your drive just crashed?
No, like it was on like an old email I had that was linked to some company, and like the company like discontinued my email like 5 years after I left.
No
So
way.
I lost all my shit, and I only had everything I made in the past year.
Oh shit!
And
That sucks.
But right after I sent that shit to you, everything disappeared. So.
Oh wow!
Oh, that was before.
Yeah.
That's why you had so many beats like prepared, like on lock. Damn, that sucks. I mean, but you coming out? Can we say you're coming out with an?
Yeah, we're coming out with some new shit.
So coming out with some new shit, you let us hear it. This shit is crazy.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
It's pretty fire. Be prepared. Do you guys have a date for that when that's coming out?
So sometime in July, most likely.
So soon, pretty soon.
Yeah, pretty soon, another month or two.
Oh yeah, I'm hyped for that.
Yeah, homie's gonna kill me for saying that shit, you know.
Hey, but you hear no, you hear it here first. We'll clip that, highlight that. Exclusive. We only bring you exclusive content to the rap section, okay? Breaking news.
Yeah.
Everyone pick this up because it's dropping in July sometime. Damn.
Yeah, okay. I actually don't know this about you. How did you start? Like, how did you get into music?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was really young. I used to drum on everything when I was a kid. I used to drum on everything, super ADD, just play on it on like in class and shit, get in trouble for that shit, you know. And my mom was like, finally, all right, I'll get you something. So she got me a guitar, and I started learning guitar when I was like maybe 11 or 12 years old.
Is this in Kuwait or here?
Yeah, I was in Kuwait, so
Okay.
I grew up in Kuwait.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, he's from Kuwait.
Yeah, you didn't tell me this.
My bad.
That's what it is. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's dope though.
And you know, crazy thing about Kuwait, there was a huge metal scene growing up there. Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah, a lot of like emo shit, like Arab guys with like weave haircuts and like tight fucking jeans. It's crazy, bro. But yeah, there was a big time like emo scene out there, and like I started playing guitar and getting into like the metal scene, so I started playing metal guitar growing up.
Got it.
And then I kind of moved out and like started chilling out. You know, when you're not in the Middle East, life gets a lot better. So you stop listening to shitty metal music. Like,
Your eyes open up a little more.
yeah, like, oh, there's more than this shit, right? Yeah.
That's funny. When did you move out here?
I moved to Colorado when I was 17, and then I moved out to California when I was 18.
Gotcha. Damn.
So wait, did you know that you wanted to like do music when you were that young?
Yeah, I mean, I had like, that's when all the Guitar Hero shit that came out and stuff like that. So I had totally had that like dream, you know, of doing some shit like that. But it was more egotistical, you know, like I wanted to be a rock star, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I want to be like a guitar god and be worshipped like 14-year-olds.
Some
like
Led
Iron
Zeppelin.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. That's kind of how it started.
Yeah.
And then I like really got into more the creative process, like writing music.
That's dope.
And then when I started writing music, I started realizing like it was too narrow-minded of me to try to just make one type of music. I started making all kinds of shit. And then I realized like I like the process of making music and making art. Yeah. And like where I'm at right now, I study psychotherapy. Like I realized that the process of making music for me was the process of working with someone to do some cool shit, right? It was more a social relationship thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's how like I approach art. You know, that's how I approach music now. It's not about the music really. It's about the process of making the music.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Damn.
Yeah, like my dream shit would be on some Rick Rubin shit, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
like where I'm just kind of there, like watching everything happen.
So then what? So with that being said, like, how has your process changed from like studying that? Like, so how has your process changed from the beginning to like where it is now?
So like when I started off, I started like learning other people's shit. I wanted to be like really good at playing the instrument. And then it kind of moved into where I wanted to start producing, and it was totally like that's kind of where the popular consciousness was, right? It was Guitar Hero, and then it was DJ Hero, right?
So, oh my God, you know, DJ Hero,
right? Like, and it was like all of a sudden guitars were cool, and then being a DJ was cool, and you know, like I was following the fad essentially. That's how my progress was. Yeah. And then it turned into something deeper after that when shit keeps changing, you know, like I really dedicate my focus on one thing and then it changes completely in a couple of years. I realized there was something underneath that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely.
You DJ'd for a while too, right?
Yeah,
like,
I was a DJ in Santa Barbara for a couple of years.
Yeah. He was telling me you were like the go-to DJ like out there. Like everyone hit you up about parties over there.
Yeah, so like locally, I used to DJ out there and I got big. I got big because we threw a boat party and then it got a little out of control.
Some Project X stuff?
Yeah, some dumb shit like that, right?
Okay.
And it kind of put me on the map locally, yeah.
Oh, DJ KJ.
DJ KJ. You don't do that. Do you do that kind of stuff? Like, can we hire you for a DJ for a party? Or
yeah, for sure. I don't do it really like that, but I'll do it for you guys. For sure, yeah.
There you hear. So this is a thing. So good thing we know now. We talked about 1 year anniversary. You know,
a 1 year party.
1 year party. We're gonna have a party, obviously. So if you want to DJ and like turn up,
yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
Let's do it. We're gonna do it.
Let's do it.
This is gonna be perfect. There we go.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, now the process is more live music. Like, I went into producing after I started DJing, right?
Yeah.
I started making beats for rappers and shit like that, and started making on my own kind of like, before like lo-fi was a thing, kind of like weird compilations and mixes of weird like stuff that I was producing, really minimal like hip hop beats. Yeah. Shout out Keanu, your best friend. One of the OGs I used to work with all the time. He used to come and stay with me from Houston for like 3 months, and we'd work on this project and shit. Go back to Houston.
Just projects on projects.
Yeah.
The grind.
And he's still out there doing some cool shit.
Dope.
You guys have a couple albums together, right?
Yeah, we have, I think, 2 or 3 albums together, yeah.
So then because you have the alias Aleppo Pepper, is that just your own beats? Is that
so Aleppo Pepper is just the stuff that I like. It was a whole plan that I had, but I didn't have enough time or money to really do it. I was trying to make an alternate reality game.
Is that what that like crash test dummy VFX thing is?
Where you go on like random websites on Reddit and shit, and it puts you down a rabbit hole, and you find all this music that's related and shit. That was kind of my plan.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Interesting.
But yeah, I didn't have enough money to like get all the VFX stuff together or time. I was working on other shit, but I started releasing the stuff like as Aleppo Pepper it was kind of like just to try to understand what my own process was, you know? Yeah. Because I was working with people before, but that was my solo shit, so it was a completely different process. Gotcha. I would lock myself up in a room in Long Beach for like 3 days and just work on shit nonstop.
The dedication for sure.
How has making music changed before you started studying psychotherapy and after?
Yeah. I mean, there's one thing I learned about myself since I started studying is I'm not a thinker, you know, I'm a feeler. Yeah. But I used to approach music in a very like thinking way,
like academic way.
Yeah, logical.
Yeah, like, you know, even just looking at Ableton, like, you know, like it's all these grids. Yeah. You know, it's like it's literally math. You know, intervals and shit like that. Yeah. So that was kind of like the theoretical approach I had before. Now I just go and I feel it out. You know, it's really like it's not about like what cool shit I can make work.
100%. Instead of making it so strategic and all that. That's what for me. I noticed that too because I've been in the studio with a few artists as well, like doing videos and stuff like behind the scenes, and like even with their process, it's like the same shit. Like it's that typical thing, like they'll smoke weed or like they'll do something before, like they'll watch a movie or to get the vibe right, and then like then that's when they start feeling something, and like that's when like the process creates for them. Like
that's inspiration.
Yeah, like that's what their inspiration is, and like I was like noticing that too. So it's like interesting, like how everyone has the same process but also different, like, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel that, you know, I was trying so hard to make something different too.
Yeah.
You know, that was like something I had. I wanted to make something so unique.
Mm-hmm.
When I kind of let go of that, like, there's nothing wrong with necessarily taking inspiration from things and like paying tribute to different traditions.
For sure.
You know, in your art. And we're at a place where everything's been done. You know? Like, we have the opportunity to stand on the shoulders of these giants that came before us and like look down and like build on top of them. We don't have to start from the ground up.
Yeah, for sure. That brings to my question is like, do you sometimes like sample beats from other places, or even like theme songs, or like do you sample a lot of things?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I was making more hip hop beats, I sampled a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have an album called Analog Dialogue that came out a while back, and it was, I don't want to say what movies, but I sampled a bunch of movies in there, and I just hid them in as Easter eggs. So you hear words here and there from each one of these like little movies, and it kind of paints a story.
No, that's so dope. I noticed that with like some music, when I really like listen as I got older, like you like listen to like more lyrics and shit, and like what's going on in the back, like when you hear that shit and catch it, that's like so satisfying.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, now I get it. Like it makes complete sense. So that's dope that you do that. Yeah. But then where does it come to a point where like for you, like it's not hard to like, you don't want to be like a copycat or like try to like, what do you say, like biters or like,
or even like cultural appropriation.
Yeah, like that type.
Shit,
like
right?
where do you know for yourself? Like do you know like
how to still make it your own?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the line isn't so like clear for me. You know, there's definitely times I bite shit, but when I bite shit, I do make it my own in the sense that I'll take something like a drum beat, right? And that's the only thing I'll take from one song. But maybe from another song, I'm kind of inspired by the chord progression. I'll take that and throw it in there, and I like kind of the rhythm of the chords of another song, so I'll switch the chords up there. So like
rearranging.
Yeah, rearrange everything, and that to some extent, you're doing that whether you know it or not.
Exactly,
like,
for sure.
I just try to be conscious of the process.
No, that's
And like, I try to draw from all kinds of different shit that are seemingly unrelated. So in part, what is unique to me is the fact that I use a lot of diverse perspectives.
That's dope, yeah. Because, I mean, I feel like for me recently, I've been noticing, like, a lot of people have been, like, trying to slam artists or rappers or, like, anyone, like, yo, that sounds just like this beat. Like, that sounds similar to that beat. Like, how do you, like, draw that line as, like, artists? Or, like, music artists, for sure. Like, I feel like that's so hard because, like you said, like, everything's kind of been done.
Yeah, totally.
So, like, for you, your process, like, just rearranging it, like, totally making it different, but still, like, the same, like, inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, with rap, too, you can see it, like, before the internet made rap, like, so global. Like, Atlanta had a very particular sound, right?
For sure.
Like, that's kind of what's big now is the Atlanta sound, right?
I mean, you hear it with, like, Jack Harlow right now, for sure.
Yeah, totally. And that's been the thing for, like, 15 years now, more or less. I don't know, 10 years. Like, Young Thug and all of those when they first came out. I ain't got me a chick, I got a chick, you know?
Like, don't even understand a word. You get one word every, like, 2 minutes.
Yeah, and it's dope. I love it. I'm not trying to bash it, you know, but, like, that's kind of their sound right now.
For
like,
sure.
everyone bit that sound. Because it's no longer a local sound, right? Like, and that's another thing. Like, everyone bites Michael Jackson and the greats and shit like that all the time. Like, whether or not they know they're influenced by it, right?
Definitely.
So, like, where do we draw the line for what is influence? And, you know, like,
for sure.
It's so blurry. I don't even try to think about it anymore.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, what I was, like, trying to, like, think, too, is, like, you probably don't. It's not even, like, a thought of, like, biting, or it's just, like,
I just don't do a black scent when I sing, and that's, you know, that's like where I draw the line.
Exactly.
Dude, there's like in the songs he was showing me, there's like in the back of some of them, he's just like auto-tune wailing in the back. It's amazing. It's so good. It's so funny.
Shit. So for you, what's like well, before we go there, like in the future, on this podcast, we talk a lot about like being an artist and like how that is financially, like. And then I know you're going to school, so it's like, is making beats for you like helping in a sense, or is it still like slow, like
No,
hard?
it doesn't like monetizing my art has always been a struggle. You know, it's not like. Because I don't necessarily want to sacrifice the aspects of it that I like for what's more consumable, right?
Yeah.
So it's always been a struggle. I've been able to do it in other lanes, like when I was DJing, I was making a lot more money.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I think monetizing your art requires more than just making good art, right? Yeah. Or like enjoying the process or appreciating that or really working for it. There's this whole other marketing component and stuff, which, like, because of which I have like completely decided not to follow that path.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah, it's like a whole nother monster.
Yeah, totally. So for me, my art is something that I try to keep pure in that sense.
Yeah. So,
you know,
and
ideally though, is like if it worked out, would music producer be the end goal?
I mean, Rick Rubin would be the angle.
Okay.
I mean,
Straight up.
You got to start somewhere. Rick Rubin started somewhere.
Yeah. So like, I'm for it. You know, if I get to the point where the universe kind of hands it to me, which highly doubtful, but if I'm to the point where my shit gets out there and people enjoy it enough to where I can get paid to do the music I want to do without like necessarily tending to the other.
Anything.
Yeah. Then I think I totally would. But I also like. I'm ADD in my life, man. I don't like doing one thing, right?
Yeah.
So I like doing a lot of different shit. I used to work in labs. I did that music shit for a while, like that DJ shit. I switched to some other shit. I've done session recording for guitars. Yeah. Like now I'm doing this psychotherapy thing, you know, like, and I'm sure something else is coming after that. I gotta be working on 2 or 3 things at the same time.
Music has always been the consistent thing, though.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah.
Gotcha. But with that being said, I think with you not wanting to sacrifice anything with your music, it also creates with your work the authenticity of it, which for me, in my mentality, that creates longevity. You know what I mean? I
appreciate that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's kind of the philosophy that I come to with. You like nailed it.
No, definitely. Yeah. That's been my mentality for like this year for sure. Like I got back into that mind state. So like whatever comes, and if you're like, even with this podcast, like how we want it to create like the authenticity of it, and like we might sound weird in the beginning, or like it's not scripted, whatever the fuck we're saying. So, but like it creates the authenticity that people hopefully will enjoy, or like they get from the audience.
Yeah, totally. It's off the cuff, you know.
You know, yeah.
And I don't have a lot of time to bullshit these answers in that way too.
That's another thing is too, is like we didn't want
uncensored, unfiltered.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is like we didn't want to like give our guests, like let them know the questions in advance, because then sometimes we'd be like, oh, they might just bullshit it because it's gonna be on camera and like on this, but like we just want you to be your genuine self, and like right now, like that's what I mean. I'm feeling that shit, bro. So it's like it creates that vibe with all of us.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
You know who MF Doom is?
Of course.
I mean, like that's kind of how he like approached the whole process, right? He was homeless for like 10 years making music, 15 years maybe. You know, he was making great music, but no one was fucking with it. And now he has like a legacy after that.
He does, right? Yeah. He created that like even before. You know, unfortunately, he passed.
Yeah,
like, he just kept with it. Is MF Doom, like who has been like the inspiration or like for you to keep going like that?
I mean, MF Doom is up there. You know, Mad Villain when he worked with Madlib. Madlib's a huge inspiration. Anderson .Paak. Anything on Stone's Throw really was a big inspiration. But there's a lot of really old Arabic music that really inspired this next album, like Fairuz, and a lot of Kuwaiti shit. There's this Kuwaiti band called Miami Band, and they inspired. They're like, there's a song called Kuwaiti on the album, and it's an interlude of me doing all these like claps that this band kind of brought from the Caribbean to Kuwait.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Is for your inspiration, like, do you find inspiration through artists like MF Doom with his music and his work ethic, or is there like people in between where you kind of just like you really fuck with their music, and then there's other people where you kind of just work like their mentality and the way they go about, like the way they operate.
Yeah, I like that you distinguish those two things too, you know, because there's a lot of artists out there that they're just like genuinely like their art is great. They're great at production and the value and like orchestrating that shit, but their philosophy on life, in my opinion at least, it's just like not in line with mine, right?
Yeah, definitely.
MF Doom in that case is
both
in line with both. Yeah, his music is awesome, you know, like just super creative, and the fact that he's true to his word in that sense, right? Like he didn't sacrifice anything in his lyrics, in his image, in anything. You know, he gives you a mask. He doesn't even give you him, right?
Yeah. That's fire. MF Doom, we haven't really bumped MF Doom a lot, but I mean
I've listened to.
Yeah.
I mean, Aleppo Pepper, the name, is inspired by his album Food. You know, like
really,
yeah.
Oh shit,
because that's like
food.
Yeah, it's he just rapped about whatever he wanted to rap about, whatever he liked. Or,
for sure. Yeah. Did it kind of like hit hard to you when he like unfortunately passed away?
Yeah, I mean, there's very few artists out there I think that had such an influence on me. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of artists that pass away, you know, I feel that. But MF Doom, I was like, oh fuck, I really I fucked with him a lot, and I was expecting more cool shit to come from him.
Yeah,
too.
for sure, and especially if you were a fan. Like, you know, there's people who become fans like after they pass, but you were a fan beforehand. It has to like hit. That was like me with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, for sure.
I like remember the exact day. Like I remember what I was doing that day. Like, which is like those artists. Like,
what were you doing that day?
I was coming back from an audition with my mom, and we had the radio on because back then they didn't have no aux really. So we were just listening like 102.7 Kiss FM, and
Ryan
then
Seacrest,
the man, and then
shout out Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, shout out Ryan Seacrest, and shout out to him for giving that news though. And he was like, Michael Jackson passed away, and I was like, no way, because for him, he was the guy that like inspired me to dance.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Like he like his his stage presence and everything, like he for sure. So that's why like artists have so much power, like, you know, and like they create that, like, is that like the future goal for you, is like having that impact, like Rick Rubin like type of thing, like if it comes to you, like is that like a goal of yours, is to make an impact?
It used to be, but it's not anymore. You know, I feel like this is a good segue actually. Like
perfect. Before that, can I get some water? You know, your boy.
Would you like water as well?
Oh, yes, please. I got a cup right there.
Water break.
Water break. You know, your boy, like I said, that's beautiful. My man Milad is coming in clutch. Beautiful.
Yeah. You guys have a setup right here.
Yeah. Hey, and the funny thing is we're not even going to cut this out of the episode.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're not even going to cut this out of the episode. That's what I mean, is like this authentic shit. You know, if you spill, we're gonna keep that shit.
Yeah, zoom right.
We're gonna close up on it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But that's what I mean, is that authentic like shit is like we don't why is there a need to cut that out? Like it's normal shit. Hey.
That's why we keep it in.
That's why we keep it in. Yeah. Zoom in on Milad. Segue though.
Segue, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Your impact and stuff, like
like, you know, when I was making a lot of the Aleppo Pepper stuff and I was trying to make it an ARG and shit, that's like kind of a God complex I had, you know. I think that like the drive to create is some sort of God complex, you know, in people have.
They want that. They semi like the power, or like,
I mean, like you're literally creating art. You know, you have control over this medium, right?
Yeah.
And that alone, but yeah, the level, like those go hand in hand with like the level of influence people want to achieve.
For sure.
Like I don't know, I feel like my influence, whether or not I do it on like some grand scale on social media, or whether I do it on an individual level in a psychotherapy setting, you know, impact doesn't necessarily have to be made through that process. Would I appreciate if my art did make an impact? Yeah, I would appreciate it. For sure. But, you know, it is what it is. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's more for me than for anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's dope. I think that's like I said before, I think that's a good way for me, in my opinion, that's a good way to go about it too, with the longevity, and like you won't get like because we also talk about like burnout, and like some of the guests before have talked, mostly dancers, because like that's kind of like all they do is like take class and do this, and most dancers like have burnout because they just keep doing it, and then they sometimes don't do it for themselves because they want the numbers and followers, they want this, or they want to book a job and all this. But like with that mentality, I feel like, have you ever experienced burnout?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, there's this expectation when you make art or you're in some artistic or entertaining like profession that, you know, you're kind of a martyr for the people, where you know, like you're a servant, right? You're serving the masses in a way, and it doesn't matter. Like when I used to DJ, if I had to DJ for 5 hours, like, and I had one bathroom break, you know what I mean, like, and I was doing it under the sun for 5 hours. It's not like I get a little break. Like the moment the music stops, the party's dead, right?
Yeah.
So there's this expectation where you have to keep going, you know.
Facts.
Like, and yeah, that's like, I think that's like a byproduct, right? Like, and some people work best under burnout conditions. Like Kanye is bipolar, and he uses his mania to produce albums, right? He gets off his meds and shit, and he fucking that's what he does, and then he's burnt out and he has a drop, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's like part of the artist. Like the artist puts that on themselves as well.
Yeah.
You know, they could choose another profession.
Yeah.
This is just how they work. They work best.
Yeah.
You know? And so, yeah, I think it goes hand in hand. But I've had burnout before, and like I used to hold myself up in a room and produce for like 3 days straight. Like literally just order food once a day and just eat and produce, right? And yeah, and like it. I love doing that shit. But really, when you're doing that, you're playing with fire.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Did you ever get to a point where you were like so burnt out where you're like, maybe I'm not gonna do this anymore?
Yeah, like that's kind of why I changed my process up, because I always burn myself out on the process. So for sure,
that kind of like helped you switch to a different mentality of it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why, like, I do burn myself out. That's how I do. I binge and purge, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's my process. I go hard as fuck, and then I do nothing for a month.
Yeah. For sure.
And I am playing with fire in that case, too, because, like, you get so much dopamine working on art, you know? Like, you really do. It's like a drug.
Yeah.
You're, like, fucking high on your shit for 3 days, right? And then you, like, take out that element, and you know you're not high anymore, and you have a deficit, and like that's what burnout really is in a lot of ways, especially in the arts, because it can be so validating and rewarding.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I never thought about that.
You're an actor, right? Like so, like the day before the last week before opening, the rehearsal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's just the expectation.
Yeah.
You know.
I can definitely see the psychotherapy aspect of everything that you're like saying.
No, but also that's a good point, because like leading up to, like, let's say you're filming something, leading up to it, you're like really amped, you're really excited to do it. You're filming, you're like euphoric.
You even have the nervous.
And then as soon as it's over, you're like,
now what?
That's there's nothing else. And I have to wait for the next one.
Yeah, imagine doing a traveling show where you do that every night for 6 weeks straight.
Yeah.
Imagine how high you are and how hard you come down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Killed himself.
Heath Ledger?
No, the guy who did the traveling show. He would.
Anthony Bourdain.
Oh, Anthony Bourdain.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And a lot of those suicides in artists, right after they do some shit. So everyone's like, oh, they had a big movie coming out. Yeah, they just fucking burnt out on this movie they've been working on for 2 years.
I mean, what you brought, like Heath Ledger. Like going crazy with
I don't know. I think he didn't he like a little bit go crazy though. I don't
because
think
he's like
out.
we talk not burnt out, but like what he said is like maybe he was so high, like because he's a method actor too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna speak because obviously we're not in his shoes.
Yeah.
But we never know the full story. But you can see it as that, like he was going hard in the paint with that character, you know. Like he was so invested into that character, and he like
too much of the Joker got into him.
Yeah,
or the mentality of the Joker.
The mentality of that. So
yeah, I don't have too much familiarity. I hear a lot of different things about that case. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to like, that's fact.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't cancel me. Okay. But we can look at that. But
Did your parents ever have any opinions on you making music?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I mean, shout out the Middle East.
I knew that was gonna pop up.
Yeah, I mean, my mom was always supportive because she saw like what it did for my personality, you know, like, and it gives me a lot of meaning in my life. So she was always supportive. I think my dad didn't used to be, but he was when he would see the product, you know. He'd be like, damn, product? This is pretty fucking sick.
Right? The music or like making money off of it?
Either one, you know, like either one. Monetizing it as well.
Yeah.
You know, that one for sure more.
Yeah.
But just like, I remember one time I had an electric drum kit, so I used to practice with my headphones. And so he just hears like me slapping on these like pads essentially. And I had a performance, and he came to the performance, and he was like, "Holy fuck, you can play!" You know,
nice.
It was like
you
it's not just shit.
You don't look like a crazy kid
doing this
with pencils.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
funny.
Yeah, in that sense, they've both been supportive. I mean, my dad bought me my last guitar, and it's a beauty. Like, it's a Gibson Les Paul, and you know, nice. So he's supportive of it.
Yeah, but is it with the understanding that will not be your priority in life?
Yeah, but I think that's justifiable. I don't think like
it isn't a priority in your life.
Yeah, it's not a priority. I don't think anything other than yourself should be a priority in your life. You know what I mean? Like,
highlight right there. One word. He's spitting bars right there.
Take care of yourself, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's why I don't identify with my music like that. It's part of why I use an alias too. You know?
Yeah.
It's not me. It's like it's a part of me. It's an entity, but it's not me, right? And I think that applies beyond like art and music. Like, people feel that way about their jobs. Like, I'm a fucking lawyer or I'm a fucking doctor. It's like, no, you're someone else, but like part of who you are is a lawyer. You know, don't let that take you, right? Yeah, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that he was not supportive for that reason. Like,
gotcha.
You know?
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. That's an interesting one.
I'm like thinking now, like going back into my life.
Because I feel like I let being an actor be a lot of who I am.
Yeah, that's your ego right there.
But I don't think that I'm like especially good. Like, I don't think that I should get some of the roles that I've gotten.
I mean, I've seen you act, and I've seen you in a comedy, and you're fucking hilarious. It was great. It was great. You're a good actor, so I think like you should give yourself some credit. You know, like, there's a reason you landed those roles. Especially, you weren't typecast as a fucking terrorist or anything.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
fair,
saying?
That's
like,
fair. Yeah,
you got a real ass role.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a real role now.
Legitimate part.
Yeah, good shit. Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations.
But you don't feel like you're
I booked that that guest star role on that crime show. I mean, I was like a brown person, but like there's a lot of other brown kids also. But yeah, I was like, I don't think most of the things that when I watch myself in things, I'm always like, this is not the best I can do.
So you're highly self-critical.
Oh yeah. I think that's pretty common though amongst. I mean, it's very common amongst actors, but I'm sure it's
common for me too.
Yeah, against artists. Amongst artists. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
like, are you highly critical of your music when you listen to it?
I used to be. Yeah, I used to be. I'm not anymore. Like, that's why in many senses, like, I'm not like the archetypal artist, you know, like tortured and shit like that anymore, right?
Yeah.
But that's part of what it means to be the archetypal artist, right? Like, you know, you are a martyr for the medium that you use, you know, and it takes a lot of people for that reason.
Yeah,
that's how it's experienced.
I need to learn psychotherapy or just smoke what you be smoking because, like,
go get your master's.
Yeah, seriously. Boy.
Shout out Pacifica Graduate Institute.
Hey, but like, your philosophy in a lot of things, like, is like, I would say, is very different to a lot of people that we've talked to on this show. In my as in mentality and the way you work and like your goals and stuff and like the way you like show your or how you feel with your work and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm not trying to monetize my art like that, so I don't have the same pressure that they have to like produce. Right? That's I think one big thing, and that's why like if you're creative and you want to focus on the creative aspect and you don't necessarily want to like deal with the other bullshit, you know, like, and make it a job, you can get a job and still work on your art. You know, like, I was afraid of that, and I think a lot of people are afraid of that. You can do some other shit, and it might make your art even better because you got a wider perspective and you learn more shit. You know,
like big facts.
And that's what it is. Like at least like back in the 40s and fucking 50s, a lot of these songwriters and shit, they were traveling songwriters, but they just did odd jobs. You know, so like they had songs about fucking coal mining, about lumber mill, about all kinds of random shit. It was just life, you know, life music.
Because they're going through, they're going through that.
And it's authentic. You know, like we've been saying, that it's their authentic experience.
Gotcha.
I mean, we have that with gangster rap, at least, like where people really be trapping and really be rapping about it.
Really be doing that shit.
Yeah, and that's why it's authentic. That's why we fuck with it so hard.
True.
And then you get some like industry plant.
Yeah.
You know, and you can tell, you know, this just doesn't have the soul in it, right?
Yeah.
It's inauthentic. For
sure. So with that being said, like with that, what is the goal with like for the future for you, like with the like studying that and like with your music, like what is the goal? Like, is there a goal, or you're kind of like we've been talking a lot, kind of just seeing where it goes?
I mean, I'm trying to make enough money to live, but I'm not trying to work for a living. I'm just trying to see where everything goes right now. This is what I'm interested in, and this is what I'm doing. I had the opportunity to do it, so I'm taking the opportunity, right? Yeah. And then somewhere down the road, something else will happen. I'll take that opportunity.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've done a lot of things in my life, right? Like I've lived all over the world. I fucking used to build laboratories. I worked in clinical laboratories and cancer diagnostics and shit. And then I'm like, I made music at the same time, and then now I'm doing psychotherapy, right? Like, it's a meandering road. It's not a straight one, right?
So we're talking a lot about music. We're talking a lot about music.
Shout out Brandon.
Let's now go into like your other life with like all that, like what you just said with medical and like laboratories and psychotherapy. Like, what got you into like that shit?
Being brown.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it for sure. You know, that was just kind of the expectation for me, but I it's kind of blessed that I had that. I don't know, like we can compartmentalize the process of education because that's how they present it to you. But like going to school and just learning shit, it's helped my neurotic side a lot. Like my anxiety needs a plan and it needs to understand certain things. So like understanding, like learning biology is like, that's how life works and that's how cells work. And, you know, that's some sort of objective understanding of how we got here. Psychotherapy is more like the subjective understanding of how we got here. Like consciously, how did we get here? Right. And it's just about me trying to understand shit. Same process of making music.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to understand myself in that way and the person that I'm working with, because I usually work with people.
Yeah, collaborate, and you want to see how they work. And
so that's kind of where they all unite. It's all about like seeking, you know, answers and truth and shit like that.
Have you always liked learning about new shit?
Yeah, but I didn't know it about myself, you know. I it was more like I would act it out. I mean, like I'm trying to keep this somewhat not too like gnarly, but I mean, just experimenting with my own mental state.
Yeah.
You know, like that's one way in which I was trying to learn and teach myself something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like what does this thing do to my mind, essentially? Right?
No. I mean, I feel like
testing yourself.
Yeah.
But I feel like
what does this button do?
I feel like everyone has those questions, but no one really has like, I guess, the guts to do it or really learn about it or like see what happens. Yeah. So it's like, if that's how you operate it, like.
Yeah, I'm an experimental person. You know?
Gotcha. Yeah,
totally. That's like part of who I am.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And like, that's why my music's weird as fuck and experimental.
Yeah.
But anything that really gives me an opportunity to test it out, I enjoy. You know, and it's not about like I like seeking the knowledge. No, I just like trying things.
Gotcha.
You know?
Were you always so that with learning and stuff? And you said you didn't know that about yourself. Were you a school kid? Like, you like school? Or?
No. I mean, the thing is, I really took that out on video games. Right? Like, I learned to play really gnarly video games really young. And like learn the lore and shit like that. That's where my like nerd shit, right?
Yeah.
Like anime and like pop culture, you know, like that's pretty much where my like foundation of knowledge is for the most part, more than anything, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's a really funny place to like source your interest of knowledge from, like lore of video games. That's my that's my shit, man.
Dude, I mean, that's like our version of mythology for like at least most men my age.
Yeah.
Like we grew up playing World of Warcraft and fucking Final Fantasy and shit.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the gods and all that shit of ancient Greece. Like that's how we understand the world in a way, in a really implicit way. Is through these fucking gnarly video games.
You gave me the Myth of Sisyphus book.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Shout out
Greek
Camus.
mythology.
What is that?
This is just a mythology book.
Oh, gotcha.
It's about how life is just like the myth of Sisyphus, where the boulder rolls down the hill every day, and you wake up and have to push the boulder back up the hill.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's just life, you know. But you know, you can really enjoy pushing the boulder up the hill.
Yeah. Put the work in.
Ooh.
You got earthquake?
The garage is gonna crumble. What was that?
I don't know. We got an earthquake outside that we didn't feel. So with music and all this, when you just chilling in the car, what's the go-to playlist? What's the go-to
What are
artist?
you bumping in the?
What are you bumping?
It depends on the mood. Like super eclectic, bro. I go from like the Commodores to Willie Nelson to fucking JPEG Mafia.
Oh shit.
JPEG.
Yeah, like Earl Sweatshirt.
Okay.
I mean, I like a little of everything, but lately I've been just bumping a lot of old Arabic music because I think I burnt myself out on everything else. So I just
you want something new and fresh.
You know, like when I lived in LA for a couple of years, and when I lived there, I made some friends from Sinaloa, from Mexico, and they showed me like all the narco corridos music. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't even know what that is.
It's like
it's
like acoustic,
Brandon
traditional like Mexican music, but it's all trap. They're talking about trapping and how they're drug lords and shit. But there's this whole movement called stoner corridos in LA, which is like really trippy corridos music, but it's sick. They fucking shred on the guitar and shit. And,
Whoa.
But a lot of the Latinx youth in LA now, they're not trying to be rappers like they were 10 years ago. They're trying to be corridos singers and shit, you know.
Oh.
So they introduced me to this like whole different like genre of music that had a huge following and like all this musical contribution. But I got really into the Mexican music, bro. They got some crazy shit down there.
Is that the guitar sample you said you put in one of the songs that you were showing me?
Oh no, I didn't sample it, but I totally bit like
the instrument.
Yeah, I totally bit like a corridos riff and threw it in one of the songs that I played.
Nice.
So it's like straight up like Spanish, like you said, it's not rap music.
It's like polka. It's like boom pop pop boom pop pop. You know, you know, like that type of shit. And
but they're saying some like gnarly shit.
Yeah,
or something?
yeah. It sounds like they're singing love songs, but they're really like
they're like
fuck this guy up.
Yeah.
And you know, I took the kilo across the border and blah blah blah. Like, that's what they're saying essentially, right?
Damn, I haven't even heard of that genre.
It's great music too. It's great fucking music.
That's dope. That's crazy. Do you like watching, like you like experimental stuff? Do you like watching experimental movies? Like, do you like watching movies or TV shows? Like,
yeah, but I'm a lot more normie with my shit like that. You know, I like I like anime a lot. I mean, that's definitely my go-to.
Found another guy.
Yeah.
Found another one for you.
Want an anime expo with us?
I'm fucking down with that. I'm so down to do that.
We have tickets.
We literally were. So one of the previous episodes, we were getting tatted by a homie Daji, and why did he bring up that? He just brought up the expo, like he's going. And then
I didn't know it was so soon.
These two, as soon as he said that, and they're like, it's happening this year, and he's like, yeah, in a couple months, immediately bought tickets.
When is it?
The first 4 days of July.
Oh fuck yeah!
But you can also buy 1 day passes, so come with us for 1 day.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do that. Shit.
I'm not really into anime, but I really want to see what goes down. I think I'm gonna do the 1 day too.
Oh
one of them.
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
So, cause like.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. Immediately bought passes. Like no question.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested because
is it Comic-Con?
It's like Comic-Con.
Just anime.
Just anime.
Okay, sweet.
That's why.
Fuck, I hate comic book nerds. I'm just playing.
So funny.
We get along too well for that to be the case.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, that being said,
Wait. Can we ask him the question that Arya asked us?
Yeah.
No, not the better of the two. The better of the two. Not
What
the
is it bad?
Yeah. No.
Which one?
What would you? We ask a guest a funny question every time. Would you rather piss bricks?
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is funny as fuck.
The other one is worse, man.
Yeah, did you not hear
the other one is by far worse.
Okay.
No. Piss bricks or shit nails.
Piss bricks or shit nails?
The other question
other
is
one was
standing
so
in between the two.
Your mom
That one's
and
the
your
worst
dad.
one. That one's the worst one.
One of them, I'm dying in one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so piss bricks. Wait.
Or shit nails, but the nails are coming out sideways.
Yeah, why does he have to go full detail? Sideways.
I mean, that's the thing. If the nails are coming out straight, it's almost like a superpower. Right?
That's what I. That's what.
right?
That's what I was saying. That's why I would do the
Marvel, make it happen.
before.
Marvel, make it
No,
happen.
you know who would make that happen? The boys on
The
Amazon.
boys would make that
They
happen.
would. Have you seen the boys?
Yeah. I
That
saw
shit
the
is
first one.
gnarly. They would definitely do that. But before he said the sideways, I would have done the nails like a superpower. That shit easy.
I don't know if I would do it because it was a superpower, but I think it would hurt less than
Sideways.
than pissing a brick.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's fucking such a stupid fucking question.
That's what we're saying. It's such a dumb question.
Yeah.
But it gets it gets the ice broken at the end of the episode.
I mean, if you're a carpenter, you get free nails. If you're a bricklayer, you get free bricks. You know.
There it is.
I would piss the bricks.
Piss the
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It would probably add some girth, you know.
Hey, you trying to do that? Hey, there you
Just
go.
hold it before every time I'm about to hook up with someone.
That's the fucking solution to short kings out there. That's the solution.
Everything's a blessing, boys.
There it
Everything's a
is.
blessing.
There it is. And with that being said, oh yeah. Well, with that being said, thank you for coming on, bro. Like this was an amazing episode, and listening to like how you go through your process, and for you even allowing us to use your music on this show means a lot.
I'm really excited for the intro to be
together, and then we honestly haven't had a dancer come on in a minute.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see that happen again.
Freestyle. I showed him. He saw the freestyle.
Yeah,
sure.
those are sweet.
Hell yeah, bro. Yeah. We'll definitely let them know your tag. But let the audience know if you're listening on Amazon, Spotify,
Apple,
whatever else we got. Let them know your tags.
Yeah, Aleppo Pepper on Instagram. Shout out Elijah Whitney too. I work on music with him too. New record coming out under El Toro Místico. Keep an eye out for that. And I appreciate you guys having me on here. It was a pleasure. Really.
Hell yeah, bro. And with that, we will see you next Monday.
Bye.
Just do the damn thing. Peace out. Yes, sir. That's